Welcome, guys, to the Jay Casera Show, episode 1. Thank you guys for tuning in. Those of you that are on Instagram, those of you that are on YouTube, and those of you listening to this podcast right now. So this podcast, basically what it's about, what we're going to talk about is basically life hacking and creating an awesome online lifestyle. So this is going to range from finding your passion to creating an online business to traveling for cheap to fighting your fears and ultimately becoming the best version of yourself in the quickest amount of time possible. So that's basically what I want for people, myself included. I want to be able to enjoy this life as much as possible. I'm sure everyone does. And I just want to find out tips and tricks of how to get there quicker, how to achieve certain things quicker. So quick background on me. I'm from Argentina. I've lived in Germany, I've lived in Spain, I've traveled all of Europe. And now I'm actually planning to travel the world and live in at least 6 months in different places all over the world, whether it's in Bali, whether it's in Costa Rica, whether it's, I strongly believe that traveling the world is actually one of the best experiences you can have because it gives you a better culture, and it gives you a more well-rounded experience. I think you definitely become better as a person, period. So just a little more on my background. Even though I was a math geek growing up, when I was young, I became obsessed with fitness. All I wanted was a six-pack when I was 12. So obviously, guys understand me. The reason I wanted a six-pack was obviously to get the girls, And after that, I became obsessed with how to train, how do muscles grow. I read every single magazine you can think of. I've done every single workout you can think of. I became so obsessed that at the age of 18, I became a personal trainer and I did every single workout and diet, tested it all myself, just to see what works, what doesn't, So at the age of 18, after training a few people here and there, with my family, we moved to Spain, had it pretty rough there. And then eventually we moved to Germany where I was able to study engineering, which was actually a passion of mine and what I was studying for. And after studying engineering, I came back to the States in 2014 and I finished engineering here. And eventually I wanted to create a startup. So I've always had like this creative mind, this creative idea. I just want to create things. And the whole reason that I wanted to create the startup is because I saw that my friends, they became so passionate about it. They just love to create with me as well. And I think that's awesome when you have this dynamic of like-minded people, everyone wanted to create. But obviously it sucked, at the end because, everyone we all graduated from college. And eventually we all ended up going our separate ways. And obviously we all got offers for industry jobs, everyone took their jobs. And I just felt this need to continue, I really wanted to become an entrepreneur. I really believe that I could create this. And more than everything, I just wanted to show everyone that it could be done, I wanted to show everyone that it's possible to become an entrepreneur. And so that's what I did. Right after graduating, instead of moving on to the industry, I just decided okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to create my own company. I don't know what it's going to be, and what motivated all this was the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Highly recommend you guys to read this book. This book is my Bible. There's a link. I'm going to drop a link in all these platforms later for you guys to click on. And I just became obsessed with creating an online entrepreneur lifestyle, So this book, The 4-Hour Workweek, basically what it talks about is Tim Ferriss talks about the deferred lifestyle, right? So he talks about how we all live, right? And we grow up to be like 60 years old, 70 years old, and we're all waiting for that retirement age where life is perfect. We can now enjoy life. We can lead a happy life. And we can now, go out and sail the seas. We can go travel the world. We can go do whatever we want. But he says he doesn't believe in that. And I don't believe in that either. I think a lot of people don't, period. Because you shouldn't have to wait till you're 60 or 70, to enjoy life. So there's these three things that you always have in life, right? There's three things. There's energy, there's time, and there's money, right? So at any point in time, at any given point in time, you have two of these, right? So when you're young, right, you have energy and you have time, but you don't have money typically. Then when you're older, you're like in your 30s, 40s, you have the other two. So now you have money and you have energy, but you have no time because you're always working. And then when you're old, right, in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you have time, you have money, but you have no energy. So now that when you actually want to go out and enjoy the world, you're all tired, you're all out of energy, right? So why not leverage all three at all times, right? So what he talks about is all the three freedoms, right? So there's three freedoms that he talks about, which is the freedom of mobility. So for example, if I wanted to go out there right now and live in Greece for, I don't know, 6 months, if I wanted to go out there and live in Italy for 6 months, I'm not dependent on a job that's going to fire me. Since I'm an online entrepreneur, I have freedom of location, because that's another freedom. That's the freedom that we're talking about right now, actually. So freedom of location, that means I can live anywhere I want as long as I have internet connection. I can work from my laptop, right? And the other one is I have financial freedom, because now that my business took off, I can go wherever I want and I can spend however much I want to a certain extent. And actually, it's interesting because most of the countries outside of US are actually cheaper than US. Obviously, there are some exceptions. But let's say, for example, let's take Bali. I'm obsessed with Bali. I freaking love Bali. I'm not going to curse. So let's take Bali, for example. Bali, right, is actually, you can pay for like $400 of rent. You can get like a really, really nice place, maybe even by the beach, right? Where here would cost you like $2,000 a month. The food is really cheap. You actually save money living in other places, a lot of places outside of US, and you live like a king for like barely anything. And I love that, that aspect. So you have the freedom of mobility as a mobile entrepreneur, as an online entrepreneur. You have financial freedom because now things are cheaper as well. I mean, you could live here if you wanted to. And also you have passion freedom, right? So that means that you can pursue, now that you're an entrepreneur, you know that you can create business, you know that you have the power to create. You can now do anything you want. You have freedom of passion. You can follow anything I want. So for example, I have a passion for fitness. That's one of my passions, right? Like a lot of you, a lot of people struggle with passion because they have more than one. It's perfectly normal. You're supposed to have more than one passion. You're supposed to like more than one thing. You know how boring you are if you only like one thing? But I love fitness, for example. That's one. I love engineering, for example. I love this stuff, what I'm doing right now. So I'm really obsessed with the whole traffic audience. How do you generate traffic? How do you generate an audience? How do you create a mass movement? How do you have people follow you, How do you sell products online? How do you create an online business? So that's a passion of mine that I'm gonna follow. So if I'm doing fitness, I can move into another industry if I wanted to. I can move into the business industry, how to create a business. If I, for example, wanted to kind of into lawn mowing, I could go into lawn mowing business, right? And I know that I could create a business. So that's the freedom of passion right there, where you can create any business with whatever passion drives you at the moment, right? So I strongly believe in these three freedoms: the mobility, the finance, and the passion. Great book, highly suggest it. So basically, after reading that book, it just changed my life, changed my mentality, and I just set out on the journey. I learned that marketing and getting your message out there is the biggest obstacle for everyone. I mean, me creating my online business right now, it's also a hard part. Do you do paid advertisement? Do you do Facebook ads? Do you do SEO? What do you do? And something that's really, I guess, stuck with me is the organic thing, like YouTube, like doing Instagram Live. Thank you guys for coming in. Doing these podcasts, I think that's the best way to, show people who you are and get your message across. And I think it's a lot more personable, you know. So I really wanted to push this forward. And so from that, I became obsessed with building an audience. You know, it's really not rocket science. It's just about consistency. You know, constantly putting your message out there. No one starts with 1 million followers on Instagram, for example. No one starts with 1 million followers on Twitter, on Facebook. Everyone starts from zero. So you can always build up, you know, you just have to put that consistency and show your passion, you know, show that you have this excitement to you. When you have that natural excitement, people just follow you because they can see it, you know, they can sense it. And people love that energy, you know, they just love that about you. So if you find that thing that makes you tick, you know, people will naturally gravitate towards you. You know, you don't have to really push yourself to like do this fancy marketing, you know, just put out your message, be the most real you can be. Just show that everyone has weaknesses, you know, if you show your weakness as well, that really gets through to people. And I just really wanted to help people get their message out, you know. So right now I'm actually helping, there's a person that I'm helping her build her business through podcasting, you know. And I like this. Everyone loves the feeling, you know, when you help someone and they get a benefit out of it. You can see them growing, you know. So that's something that I really wanted to dive into. And another thing is I've seen a lot of people that obviously want to achieve this lifestyle, you know. So I'm just here to help you guys out, you know, give you all the ins and outs. I'm going to be documenting everything. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on the podcast. I'm going to be doing Instagram Live. It's going to be everywhere so you guys can access it. And I just want everyone to really digest this material and be able to achieve it and be able to replicate it. Obviously, I'll be going out there and trying to interview the most successful people or people who have done this and just try to get everything I possibly can for you guys so that you guys can achieve this lifestyle. You know, I want everyone to be able to be the best version of yourself. So the first topic I want to talk about today, which is going to be given by me. The later topics are going to be given by other people that we're going to be interviewing, is finding your passion, right? So I created a small thing. I've seen that a lot of people have trouble with this. Everyone asks themselves, even myself included, you know, I ask myself, what is my passion? What is it that I really want to do? Is this really it? Am I going to stick to this? I think the biggest issue, for me, the biggest issue has been, if I say, for example, I'm into fitness, right? Yeah, that's one part of my life. I'm not like super obsessed with it. I mean, I've done it for a really long time. But I get scared that, okay, if I choose this, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to be known for. Right? And then I'm thinking about it and I'm like, is this really what I want to be known for? You know, so a lot of people get scared because you think about it too much, you know. It's all about more acting, just doing, you know, just go out there and do stuff. Just act, right? So one of the first questions is what gets you excited, you know? So like right now I'm talking to you guys and this is awesome, you know? You should have seen me before I even turned on this video or I started recording this podcast. I was so nervous. But this excites me, you know, because I'm talking about something I really find passionate, you know. I really find passion in becoming the best version of yourself, you know, and really showing it to people, you know. I want people to know about this. So what gets you excited? What do you Google? What do you research when no one's looking, you know? So that's really what your passion comes down to. What do you think about when you're about to go to sleep, you know? What keeps you up at night? So that's really what you want to go down to. And if you don't necessarily think you have something that gets you excited or something that you research on your own without anyone telling you and you just love to look into, if you don't have that, then here's a way to find it. Go out and experience everything you can possibly experience, right? So if you can get some random job doing some random thing, do it. If you can get the experience, someone asks you to go embark on a journey to do something, go do it. If you can travel, go do it. Do whatever you can possibly get your hands on that'll make you have more experience. The more experience you have, the more likely you are to find your passion and even discover passions you never even thought you had. Like, for example, I never thought like I would be getting into marketing ever, ever. And I became really obsessed with it. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, you know? So just really go out there and experience. Typically experiences, what I see, they come from parts of life that you're trying to get a result out of, and you haven't really achieved that result. But once you achieve a little bit of that result, it just becomes a burning passion because you're like, whoa, I was able to do that, right? So the next thing after finding that excitement, get results for yourself. So whatever you want to dive into, if it's a passion that maybe you haven't really dove into yet, get results for yourself, right? So for example, for me, fitness, I was able to get results for me, and I saw the change on my body, right? And that's why I created the program that I did with 30-minute workouts. I hate being in the gym more than 30 minutes. I get bored. My energy goes away, So I wanted to create a program where people can just go 30 minutes and you have a great body, and make it as easy for them to track eating, to track everything. So that was my thing, and I was able to get results out of it, So that's one of the steps. The next step is get results for someone else. So once you can get results for someone else, if you've proven it, that it doesn't just work on you, it works on someone else. If it works on you and someone else, that means that you have a process. You have something that works, right? At that point, obviously, give results to someone for free, and that's going to come back manifold, first of all. Second of all, you're going to prove to yourself that it does work, and you're going to get that confidence that, yeah, wow, this works. I can do this. Like for me, the 30-minute workouts, it worked on me. I was like, oh, this is awesome, but I don't know if I can really push this onto someone else. What if it doesn't work on them? So I tried it for free with 2 guys that I trained, and they got results in a month. They were super happy. They were like, oh, this is awesome, man. I don't know how you came up with this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, that's great, So that gave me more confidence in myself that I can actually do this, I can actually help people with this. Another step is document it, So whatever you're doing, this person that you're trying to get results with, or this community that you're trying to get results with, just like right now, I'm doing this podcast. I'm trying to get results with you guys, right? Once you start getting results, not even once you start getting results, from the very beginning, document it, through the media streams you can possibly get into. So actually, I'm gonna put links to you guys which media streams to use, because there's a lot of media streams, right? And they each have a certain purpose, right? So make sure you document it. Make sure you know which media stream to use, and make sure you definitely, like Gary Vee says. Gary Vee is a great guy. If you don't follow him on Instagram, I highly suggest it. But document every single step of what you're doing. People love seeing the steps of how something grows, and they definitely connect to it more. And then the very last steps is who can you get results with, right? So after you got these results for yourself, you got it for someone else. Now go out there and find who else would benefit from this, right? So find your target audience. What do they like to do? What age range are they? What type of personality do they have? What do they like to do for fun? So find all these things about them and just put them all together, right? And you're going to have your target audience. So that's basically the basis of it. If you have a part-time job, do this on the side. If you have a full-time job, do this on the side. If you have no job, do this on the side. But try to do this on the side, because what I fear is that if people don't try to do this now, if you don't try to achieve a life where you're guided by passion, by something that excites you, by something that drives you, you're going to be a zombie every day, Even if you do love, a 9-to-5 job, I just want to make sure that you're passionate about it, It's okay to have a 9-to-5 job, It's also okay to travel the world and have an online business. It's okay to do anything, as long as you have a passion for it, I want people to be passionate about what they're doing, So really, please, like, you're listening to this podcast, you're watching this YouTube video, or you're on Instagram Live. Um, what I want you guys to do is ultimately, I'm gonna put this on a link or something if you guys want the steps written out, whatever. But really find that passion, test it on yourself, test it on someone else, and then find your following, find those people that resonate with you, find those people that synchronize with your message, and ultimately guide yourself by that passion, because if you guide your life through passion, you're going to be happy. You're going to enjoy every single moment of what you do. And if you enjoy what you do, you're going to put your full and utmost energy into it, and you're going to achieve great things, So ultimately, go out there, get results, find your passion, and just be the best version of you that you can possibly be. I just want to say, guys, thank you for chiming in, for being here. And I hope you guys have a great day. This will be on YouTube. This will be on the podcast. And take care. Signing out.